Morning, Bobby.
Hi there.
Hi, Bobby. Hey, you had a big day yesterday.
I did.
Eclipse, huh?
Yeah.
Want to take 30 seconds to tell us?
30 seconds. That's it. For a 12-hour day. That was a long day. But we went down to Lima, which I've been corrected many times.
Lima.
No, we were told Lima now. Is it Lima?
I always called Lima, Ohio, didn't you, Jason Lazinski from the Sheriff's
She said
Department.
Lima, didn't she? Look at the email.
Lima. We won't spend your 30 seconds.
Okay.
Gretchen Spadowski turns another year older.
Yeah,
today.
I saw that. Happy birthday.
She's on the sign this morning, MOSD gal. You're going to get that song over with?
It's fading. It's under you.
Boy,
and it fades out. It's a transition, they call it in the biz.
Tradition.
So, saw the full eclipse yesterday down in Lima.
You tired?
In Ohio? A little. Yeah, not that bad.
About 5-hour drive.
I didn't have to drive, so.
Was it worth it?
I think so.
I like that.
I think you talk about God's glory. It was like twilight, but 360 degrees. You never saw anything like that unless you were in a planetarium and they set it up. But you looked everywhere you looked, it was twilight. And then you look up, and then when the sun came back out, it was such a beautiful turquoise blue. It was just, it was incredible. So, worth it.
But it really didn't get dark here, did it, Jason? I got Jason Lazinski here with us, Mecosta County Sheriff, and a couple of cops from Public Safety from the city of Big Rapids, and our favorite sheriff of all time, yet to be, he's only been in it for almost 4 years now. So
right.
He's going to be a legend when it's done, Brian Miller. But anyway, Jason, did you see it yesterday?
Yeah, I think it mostly looked like we had our sunglasses on, right? It was a little faded, don't you think?
Yeah. I didn't. I was spreading manure yesterday during that time, and the wind really picked up fast, huh? The wind really blew hard.
I didn't smell the manure, no.
No, but everybody on north end of Big Rapids did. Boy, I tell you what, she was blowing. Mark Mandrello's out there blowing his driveway off, and he got quite a bit in there. But anyway, we got that done. But it just kind of dimmed down, didn't it, Bill? Bill Sauls from City. It didn't really get black, did it?
No, it didn't get black. It just got gray out, almost like it was a storm or something coming through, but no clouds in the sky.
So it really wasn't the eclipse, was it? Did you look up there?
I didn't look at it with my bare eyes.
No, but last time, did you?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Did you like it?
It was neat. Yeah, it was cool.
See, I remember the first one. Back in 1826, and I remember
the first eclipse.
So I really wasn't into it, but I know, it was kind of cool because at the very end of it, when the sun did come out, the wind died down.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
It's like the Lord's trying to tell us something, boys. Straighten up. Being that said, I have got great reviews, Bob, on our sheriff's article in the Pioneer. I didn't see it in the Pioneer, but I saw it on
online
social media.
Yep.
And I have to commend the guy, whoever his writer is, Dolores Horn or whoever out there.
AI,
I even had non-Catholics compliment it, saying, "Did you see Sheriff's letter?" And I wanted to say, yeah, I did, and why? And they all said the same thing. It was just really a wonderful letter to have put in there, and it really means a lot. I hope everybody in Big Rapids reads it, and that's why I'm bringing it up on the radio show for you 5 listeners out there. If you haven't read it, or if we have a first-time listener out there, get on those social media. Is it, Brian? Is that where it's at on Facebook? What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look up.
First, it's Pioneer's website, and then we shared it.
Did you see it, Bob?
I did. I read it, 2 days ago? Yeah, when it first came out, I saw it. Yeah,
days go by. Sunday? It came out on Sunday?
Well, it was over the weekend, wasn't it? Or was it Monday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. Well, the days all run together, especially when there's an eclipse involved. But I did see it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, so that's something to read, folks. Read it and take it to heart and maybe try to implement it in your lives. I mean, we need more of that forgiveness. We've talked about it. Won't bore you with that. Bob, update us on Donald Trump. How's the polls looking?
He's up by 800 points, according to certain. He's +5, I think, in Michigan, or +4, something like that.
Yeah, it really amazes me is the people that don't like him really will get on social media and really curse him and really put him down like he's a fat little idiot. But I would never do that to their Joe Biden. I wouldn't. I mean, the guy's trying his best. Joe Biden, he might go down as the worst president ever, but that's beside the point. He's still a nice guy. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. He just took the wrong field for the last.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you should have stayed in Delaware, right? Yeah, or
Right.
Scranton. There you go.
Right.
Scranton.
I
The
can't.
opinions expressed on
Yeah, you've already said that. But anyway, I wish them all-
maybe those of Up North Radio, but sometimes
Right.
they are and sometimes
Right.
they aren't.
Right. We lost kind of a little legend here in Mecosta yesterday, and he's from Big Rapids also. Bill Carl Boroff passed
Carl
away.
Boroff.
81 years old. He was very instrumental in the Elks back in the Weepert and Jones and all those guys back in the day. Gosh, that was they're just great people, and they've all gone on to eternal life now. And Carl for sure went to heaven. I mean, he was just a giving person. He worked for Farm Bureau Insurance for a lot of years. Before that, he was with First Savings Bank. I think it wasn't a Mutual Savings Bank with Bob Weepert. And him and Joan were just little pillars of the community, kind of hidden back there in the backside, but was always there to give out the best. So he's passed on. He's in a better world right now, probably. But anyway, we pray in thoughts for the family there. Anyway, I got a nice little program here. I'm going to let Brian talk about it here. Brian, you brought some guests in this morning for me. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we all came in together. What we have is our Mecosta County Youth Academy coming up July 15th through the 19th. This is our third year doing it. Fourth year. Yeah. So between myself, Jason, Bill, and Andre Torres from the city, the four of us kind of come together. Andre and Jason both being school resource officers for our respective agencies and the ties that they have with our youth. And I think I was a school resource for 7 years, and Bill has an interest in developing our youth to be good adults. See where I went with that? So this is our fourth year doing that, and it's, I guess, what we do is that we talk to the kids about physical fitness. We learn some defensive tactics, some firearm safety, patrol techniques, K-9, DNR, crime scene investigation. I guess more importantly is leadership and being able to work with others, I think, is one of the big focuses of it. And it's a week long, July 15th to the 19th, for ages 12 to 14. Applicants must have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA and good standing at their school, and must possess some good moral character and a desire to learn and lead. And so we're looking for youth that want to be leaders, but maybe in some occasions some at-risk youth that we can help maybe provide a foundation for, so that as they go up through school and then reach adulthood, that they have some skills and techniques to better aid them in being important members of society.
Yeah, well, we got Jason Lazinski here with us, and whenever I think of Jason Lazinski, I think of his nice family, beautiful family that he has kept here in Big Rapids since the 90s when he played football. Bob, did you know that?
I did not know that.
I believe he was.
Looks like he'd be a
center-
football player. Yeah.
Oh, he was even bigger back then.
Yeah.
But he's not big. You're staying in shape, Jason.
No, but, the weight has changed.
No, you must work out.
I run around with kids.
You get right
Yeah,
up
there
on
you
that
go.
mic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Run around. Yeah, you gotta get up.
What's
that
your
mic.
famous line?
Let's see, I've been married 17 years, so I haven't worked out in 17 years.
Still bigger than ours. Oh my God.
Good answer. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Jason, so how many years you been working with the schools as a LA?
I believe this is the 8th year. This is the 4th year that we've done the academy. One important part about it, being in the schools, 7th grade, I always do a career day at Chip Hills. They talk about being a police officer. When I started 8 years ago, more than half a class would raise their hand and say that they're interested in being a police officer. 2 years ago when I did this class, when we kind of came out of that COVID piece and there was some negative publicity around being a police officer, when I did that whole day class with 5 different classes, I had 8 total kids that said they wanted to be a police officer. So, why I think this is really important. It's a great job. It's a great opportunity. I've been a police officer for 23 years and absolutely love it. Every day I wake up, I don't mind coming to work, right? Is there something I'd rather do? Sure. But if I'm going to work,
coach your girls' softball team, right?
That's fun too, yes.
How important do you think it has been for your kids? And this is not a dumb question. People have to hear it. How important is it for your kids, for you to be involved like you have been? How do you think that's affected them?
I think it's very important, right? Anytime you're interacting with your kids' friends, right? Influence them in a positive way.
But you've involved right from the get-go, haven't you?
Yes, you name the sport, I've probably coached it.
Yeah. So why do you think after the COVID that diminished as far as kids not wanting to be in the law? What do you think happened? Or was it social media, too much time on that? Was it TV that they saw the commercials, so-called somebody gets killed by a cop or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's mostly what you went there, right? There was the publicity, the Floyd incident. There's multiple incidents through that time frame. And
what can we do to change that, you think?
Well, I think doing stuff like me and Officer Torres do, right? We're in the schools, we're positive influence on the kids. If you go by the middle school, you see Officer Torres playing recess with the kids. You see him at the elementary, letting them know that my biggest push to the kids every time I do my lessons in the elementary is I'm no different than your mom and dad, right? I'm no different than your mom and dad. I have kids. I have a wife. Me and the wife argue. My kids get in trouble. My kids get disciplined. But I wear this uniform. Your mom and dad might wear a different uniform.
What grade you working with, Andre?
I work all the way up to, all the way up to 12th grade, if you
Oh, you
include
do?
CCA. So I do Crossroads Charter Academy as well, and they have all the way up to 12th grade. So I have all of the Big Rapids public schools up to 8th grade, and then I do Crossroads Charter Academy, which is pretty much K through 12.
So, dumb question. Needed? You think it's needed?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do too. I'm just wondering.
Yep. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about law enforcement. I think there's a lot of things that are unknown about what me and Deputy Lazinski and Sheriff Miller and Officer Sell do. And these kids ask a lot of questions, and I think that they're warped by what they see online, and it confuses them. And so all I ask when I talk to the kids in the schools, I talk to parents, I just ask them to give me a chance. Don't let your preconceived ideas about what you think police to be shape how you look at me. Give me that opportunity to show you that I'm not what you think police are, and then we can work from there.
So, do you see little eyes look at you that you're not going to change?
No, I don't ever see that. Nope. I don't think there's a kid out there that can't be saved, personally. I think that if we can have enough of the resources, put enough of the time, I think you can make that impact that maybe not at this exact moment. You might not see the change that you're exactly looking for, but down the road, those things aren't going to be forgotten. That effort that you see.
How long have you been going at it now?
I've been with the city for almost 9 years, and I've been the SRO for, this will be the end of my 3rd year.
So, anybody come back to you afterwards and said thank you for what you've done for me while I was in school?
I've had a couple kids from helping Deputy Lazinski at the high school. I've had a couple kids come to me and say stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of a quick little story. It was about a year ago. I had a kid I saw at Walmart or Meyer, I don't exactly remember, and came up to me and said, "Hey, Deputy Jason Lashinsky, tough name to say, so I always say,
years.
Call me, Deputy Jason." And he said, "Hey, I want to thank you. Remember that conversation you had with me in 8th grade?" I don't remember. He's like, "Well, you just told me no matter how hard life is, you just got to wake up and do the little things step by step." And he goes, "From that point on, I listened to what you said, and I made it through high school. I graduated. I got a job." And
wow.
I mean, I don't remember.
No,
but it was you say those things to kids, and
right,
and it now and then it works, right?
Yeah. So, do you see a difference in? And this is a question everybody knows the answer, but is it tougher? The kids tougher today or easier to work with than they were 10 years ago, 8 years ago when you started? Do you see a change?
So when I first got into school, I was shocked how the same it was from when I was in school.
Okay.
Now, do they have different technology, different avenues that we didn't have? But I think the mindset's the same. They just instantly can do it, right? They got the phone.
Yeah.
When I was there, was I a perfect kid? No. I'm not sure if I would have been able to meet the minimum requirements for this academy, right? With a 2.0 GPA, I wasn't a perfect kid, right? But I straightened myself out, and when life mattered and when you got to college, we made it work, right?
Yeah. Brian, trying to say something here, brother. Go ahead.
No, I just, so I was his first school resource for our area back in '99. It was after Columbine, so it was a big push to get officers, law enforcement in the school. And, part of the idea was the safety aspect, but more important to me was the rapport building aspect, being that liaison. It wasn't school resource at the time, it was school liaison. So that school liaison between the parents, the school, and our agency. And so that was important. I remember that my first year in the school, I felt like a glorified hall guard. And the teachers didn't necessarily trust me either because it was something new. So you had to build that rapport with the teachers, with the staff. By the end, every other day, if I wasn't out at recess with the kids at lunch period, I was in the teachers' lounge with the teachers, building up that rapport there. And, the impact it made, to this day, a lot of the people in the community, that they're still here, that I had in school, still consider me Officer Brian, just like they're going to do the same with these two here. And, a couple of the relationships I've made, so about 10 years ago when I was still the detective, I had a couple separate students come back and file assault charges against family members, but the only people they would go to would be me because of the relationship we had. And I think that's what these two are seeing now and will see for the remainder of the time they're here. It's that it's building that trust, and these kids need to be able to look to somebody and say, this person's going to be there for me.
Well, the way I look at it, back when I grew up, there was two people you feared in life. That was your old man coming home if you got kicked out of school, or the police. We didn't have any police in our schools, but we had them in cars, and when they went by, you went behind a tree or you hid or whatever if you were doing something wrong. But I just don't know how it changed within the generation, because now we're out there trying to make us look like we're here to help you. Well, back when I was a kid, I don't remember a cop trying to help me, but they definitely kept me straight. And the rest of us, there's a factor called fear. We respected cops. Don't get me wrong, we respected them. We were friends with a lot of them. But as far as peers, I don't know if they were that or not. But today, it seems like our resources is trying to save the children. And that's a shame, because now you guys, as far as I'm concerned, are trying to build structure in these kids that have none at home. I tell you, it really saddens me to think that we have come to, as a society, to expect someone else to take care of our children. Our teachers in there trying to teach. I see the reviews from Riverview always getting accolades for what they do over there. Renee Kent and Melissa Shively and the DeFever, and used to be Delphine. Anyway, names I could keep on going and on. Great people trying to teach these kids. And then I go to the middle school and see what's going on, hear what's going on. It's a great school, but they can only do so much. They're limited with their resources, so they need you guys in there to kind of monitor, to be that second parent. But it's kind of sad, like Jason over here, I look at his kids. He's got a hell of a nice young man coming up. What is he, a sophomore?
He is a sophomore.
Yeah, he comes in the station with a lot of respect for me, with a lot of respect for anybody in there. And I think, it's so simple. The kid's been taught respect from his dad and mother. And then I see other kids like Chris Phoenix's kid. I love the kid. Stricter's kid, Will there. Great kid. Now he's going on, he didn't need you guys because he had those parents there. But I tell you, guys, I know I'm babbling on, but then to go back to what I'm trying to say is I talk to parents that come in the station with little Johnny that jumps in my ice cream machine and licks it and then puts it back. No, you're buying that. And she'll say, I have no money. I said, well, then he's going to sweep the floor. He's going to do something for that ice cream. Even though it was covered, the next kid would have never known that I could have thrown it back in there and made my margin 45%.
Sorry, Pat. Cooper likes ice cream.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cooper. Well, and your boy's another one that I have a lot. And Liam. Well, I don't know why his name's not Johnny.
Lima,
I can say Johnny. I can say Jason, but Liam? Is it Liam?
Yeah,
Liam. Where did you come up with that name, Bill? You haven't said 2 words.
because my name is William. It's the last Liam. It's the same name as me. I mean,
Oh, okay.
so he has. Instead of doing Junior, we just did Liam.
Okay. Well, that's a nice name. I like
Well,
that.
you should meet his boy,
It's like-
Logan. I love
Oh, I
Logan.
know
That
him.
kid's got about the nicest smile I've ever seen in my life.
But, I just really wish that I'll never forget a story I want to tell you about baseball. Adam, when he went to high school and when he was a freshman, we had a get-together with the freshmen and the varsity ball players' coaches, and it was in the auditorium at the high school. And Ben Olson was the coach in the JVs. And I've known Ben since he was a little kid, and I know what kind of character he is, and he's a good one. But he's a disciplinarian. And so he got up there and he says, the last thing I want to hear from any of you parents is why Johnny's not playing. I want you to ask Johnny why he's not playing. And Johnny will have to tell you. I don't want to hear no crying from any of you parents. And I thought, good for you, Ben. Well, he still heard me cry during the season a little bit. But no, but I never cried. But I thought, wow, what a good speech. That speech should be told by every principal in every school in America. The first day of school, he ought to have the parents in there saying, I don't want to hear no crying. If Johnny gets in trouble, these are the rules. He's going to have to tell you why he got in trouble, not me. All right, enough of that.
WBZX
All right.
Big Rapids.
Oh, my God.
It's already half
Yeah.
hour in?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill,
Thanks.
can you talk about how they can go about filling out the application,
Sure.
the process that's involved for
Sure.
our
So if
youth
somebody wants to
academy?
apply, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can go on to pretty much all of our Facebook pages, the police departments or the sheriff's office or the Mecosta County Youth Academy has a Facebook page as well. On there's a link that takes you to the city's website where the application is. It's the Big Rapids, it's cityofbigrapids.org. There's an application on there. They fill that out and it all gets sent to me and I go through it and bring it and we look at all of them. We take 15 kids, kind of limit the numbers down a little bit just so we don't get overwhelmed.
Take the first 15 or what?
Well, yeah, the first 15 or, we may have to go through some of the applications and see and choose who we think is the best fit. But it's pretty much just been, we've gotten about 15 applications every year, and that's a good number for us. We can do a little bit of one-on-one with them and be able to work with them, and like Brian said, teach leadership, and it's a good program.
So how our week goes is Sunday we typically have our kind of show up on registration, and you get your shirts that they wear through the week and sign kind of the waiver and some of those things. And then Monday this year we're going to Eagle Village, and the reason is that first day we want to build some team building and such, so the rest of the week these kids get to know each other, know what they can do, know what they're capable of. Every morning, however, Monday through Friday, Andre and Bethany Hamilton and Heather Butts, city firefighter and police officer, put the kids through physical training. So they do that every morning from 8 to 9. And then Monday we go to Eagle Village. Tuesday is a kind of a law enforcement day, so we start off with the physical training with these guys, and then we go right into some defensive tactics with Miguel Galley from the city and Bo Bilecki from the county. And then 11 to 12, we do some patrol stops tactics. How to walk up on a car, what to do, how to communicate with people.
That's always a fun day. The kids
Yes.
really like doing that.
That's one of their favorite things is those patrol stop tactics. So we'll do that. Then we have lunch. Then we have a canine demonstration.
Charlie brings Zeke in.
Yep, Charlie might bring Zeke in. Defensive Charlie's back with his knee. We expect him to be, and he really wants to be there. So Charlie Piffin and Zeke will come in, and maybe Eric Morrow and his canine. And then what we do is we do some firearms, proper use of firearms, how to handle it. And so Tyler Haynes from the city, Scott Morgan from the county, and Under Sheriff Casey Nemeth come in and do that. And then Wednesday's a jail and court day. They get a tour of the jail. They eat lunch at the jail.
Jail lunch. It's always
A jail lunch. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
I mean,
It's just
it's better than nothing. And then we go to the court, and Judge Jack Levick and Prosecuting Attorney John Peterson kind of do, a little demonstration on what happens in the court and the proceedings. And then Thursday's one of their favorite days, honestly. It's kind of one of our favorite days, too, because we can sit back and the firefighters do their physical agility test with the kids. And to see some of the kids just exceed maybe even our expectations is fun to see. And then they learn some first aid. And probably the most favorite part of the week, I think, from what the kids, if you ask them, is when the DNR comes.
they bring all their toys.
Yeah, they bring all their toys. And so you do that. And then on Friday, we kind of do a wrap up and do some talk about OWI and what it is, and do some, I guess.
We put them through the sobrieties
Yeah.
with their fatal vision goggles, give them an idea how alcohol can affect you, drugs affect your body, and how you can perform basic tasks.
So what's the reviews afterwards?
So, my favorite part of the whole week is that Sunday when you get them in. That Monday morning, they kind of look a little scared, a little lost. Do I really want to do this? Do I want to waste my week? Do I want to get up early? You could see it in the kids' faces. And then when we get to Friday, we have our graduation ceremony. You see them just kind of standing up a little more proud, right?
Right.
And they're had a good week, and they learned some things, and they almost like they've grown up in a week.
Are you
Really
there
just-
all week with them, Jason?
Yep. All four of us are there all week.
All four.
Yep.
You too, sure.
Yeah, all four. I mean, all four of us. And what's nice is we involve other, first responders and
Right.
law enforcement agencies throughout, like Jeff Roberts, who's our commercial vehicle trooper through the MSP. He comes over and helps us out with the traffic stops. So, I mean, Jason's right. That first day, you kind of look around and everybody's not talking to each other and kind of looking straight ahead. And then by the end of the week, you see like a bond and friendships between members. But then you also see, like you said, kind of the proud, standing up, shoulders back.
The kids really love it too. I mean, we have some that want to come back year after year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's one girl in particular that now she's in high school and she wants to come back and help us. She just loves doing it. So
Other communities do this?
yeah, there are several other. I mean, you'll see police departments all over the country that do it.
Oh.
It's just a good way for us to reach out and let the kids get to know us and get them interested in law enforcement. So in the future, and it could be 7-8 years in the future before they're even ready for anything like that. But they may still want to be in law enforcement.
or being a firefighter, but that's okay, I guess,
Yeah.
too.
How many years you been doing this?
4 now. This is our 4th.
All right, you probably said that before, but I wasn't listening. I was probably smoking a cigarette. But anyway, what did 4th year? So some of these kids are in high school, actually. And
Some of the kids that we've started with, are in high school.
Still in school.
And we, we did a.
then they go to the
Some go to the career
Academy?
center. Yeah, we had Andre and I did a career fair over. Well, Brian was there too.
And Jason.
And Jason. And you see some of those kids that went through this are now at the career center going through the law enforcement section over there, or the public safety section over there, and they come up and say hi to you, and it's a good thing.
Going back to the disrespect and respectful thing for the men in brown blue, would it be something? Of course, you're working with elementary, right?
Yeah.
And then you work with the high school kids.
Correct. Yep.
So, you go to St. Mary's, St. Peter's, and all of them.
I have gone to both of them, yeah.
All right, but not a lot, or
No, so I don't go there as frequent as I go to all the other schools.
Okay.
I would say, but when they request presentations or they request something, I go in there and I teach them certain things.
I've been getting them over to St. Mary's more and more.
Well, no, you don't have to because they're little angels. But anyway, actually, they got parents cracked, or you know what, Bob. But anyway, I just wonder how's that affecting the little second and third graders? You see their little eyes, like, are they being attentive to you, or are they just kind of like, oh, you're blowing smoke?
Oh, no. I mean, the elementary buildings are some of my favorite buildings to go into, period.
Good.
The way that those kids look at you, ask you questions, they're stricken by law enforcement.
So I think
everything on your person, everything that you do is like,
big. It's a good investment.
During Marches and Reading Month, I went out to Barretton Elementary and read to a first grade class there.
Yeah.
Probably the best class I ever. I mean, I walked out of there like those kids were attentive, eyes forward, just very respectful. It was a Barretton Elementary first grade class, and I said something to the teacher when I left. I said this was the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched on it earlier. Like, our teachers are amazing.
Yeah,
they do some great stuff at getting these kids to understand respecting people that come in and talk, especially when it comes to law enforcement. You can go into a classroom and they'll all just sit down, do their little crisscross applesauce, and they'll sit there attentive and stare right at you the whole time. And the only time they interrupt is when they have questions about something you might have poked at. If you point at a camera, they're going crazy. If you point at your taser, good Lord, don't mention a taser inside of it.
You know what I used when I was in the schools, when I did presentations, I always had Laffy Taffy at the end.
Right.
And so I think they knew if they behaved, they got some Laffy Taffy.
Oh.
Me and Andre are good enough. We don't need to get to that.
I don't usually have to bribe the kids with candy.
Well, I had to do what I had to do at the time.
Your boy's a sophomore now. Does he get any flack from anybody being his dad's a cop? Because they all know you.
I don't think so. I've
No.
been around all those kids so often, so much.
Right.
But they definitely know it. If it affects him, he doesn't let me know.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of a big fella too, so you'd be intimidating to those guys that if they did say something, there'd be some.
But to circle back, elementary is the easiest school to be in, right? Because they still want to absorb everything, right? Even if so often when I first started, you've been to houses over and over and over again. You see the family name, and you go, "Wow!" Right? Like this kid and the kid loved the police officer, right? They're giving you a hug, and it's the easiest. You start seeing about 7th, 8th grade, Andre, don't you feel 7th, 8th grade where they're starting to, some kids start separating.
Yep.
And then even in the high school, you'll know kids that you known your whole life, and they're like, I don't want to say hi to them because maybe that's not cool to do.
You can definitely see the influence of even social media just as a whole
Yeah.
on those kids as they start getting older and they're more exposed to those things. Like he said, they start pulling away, and you can kind of tell there are those that keep you relevant, that are more inclined to come and speak with you, more inclined to come and get to know you, and those kids will keep you relevant in the groups because they're like, this guy can be trusted, this guy's cool, he's fun, all those types of things. So, and that's really the main goal, at least from my perspective, is to just show the kids, like Deputy Lazinski said earlier, we're no different than anyone else. We have to wear all of this heavy stuff, but that's pretty much the only separation between me and them. And so I try to just get them to understand that if they can just communicate with me like a normal person, and we can have a general, just easy conversation. I don't go into anything with any preconceived ideas about who that kid is. I let them tell me their story right from the start.
Well, now, Jason, in the high schools, you go to all, Morley, Chippewa Hills.
I go to Chip Hills and Big Rapids, not Morley.
Oh, okay, those two. So when you walk in, do you think your presence is felt with respect, intimidation, or no respect? I mean, in most cases in high school, do you think those kids look at you and say, "Oh, Deputy Lazinski's here, straighten up"? Do you see a little bit of that, or?
I definitely think they recognize it. They know my role. I've been there long enough, so they understand the role, and,
Right.
and I think there is a respect. Right?
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. That's great. Yeah. How about you? Now, you already spoke on it, but you don't go to any of the schools, do you, Bill?
No, not unless Andre asks me to.
Yeah. Do you have any children yet, Andre?
No, I only have about the 2,000 that are in the schools.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there you go.
American flag, weren't we, Bill?
Yes, we were.
Got to honor that. I still like the NCAA game the other night, Iowa playing whoever it was. They didn't come out of the locker room for the national anthem. That was quite the controversy. It shouldn't even been talked about.
No.
I mean, when you don't respect like that, you shouldn't even get recognized for not respecting it. And that's our problem. We show those people, and these other people use that example for, well, that's news. That's people are noticing people like that. Here I am talking about it, but I'm just saddened that happened. But anyway, moving right along. what else about these kids in America today? You see any good future coming out of them? Anybody want to expand on that? I think we got a lot of great young people coming up, just like Jason's young son, you know, and I see the baseball team at Big Rapids, proud that they are, and they beat Cadillac the other night, and we'll probably talk about that on the sports program tomorrow, Brian, but we got a lot of good youth coming up, don't we, Jason? You see it.
We do. We got the sports look strong. Tonight we do have a home track meet, right? I think our boys and girls are going to be very strong, so if you're free, it's a beautiful night. Go out and watch some track, right?
Your son, like I say, he played varsity last year or JV?
He played JV. Yep, he was a freshman last year. He's on
he's a
varsity
freshman.
this year.
Oh, wow.
So he's a sophomore this year. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
We have 5 sophomores. Is that correct, Jason?
That is correct. Yep.
5 sophomores on the varsity baseball team this year.
Wow.
And all contributing.
Yeah. Did you play baseball, Jason?
I did not. No, I did
Just
not.
football?
I played football, track, and basketball.
Oh, you played basketball too, eh?
Just in high school, yeah.
Yeah, right. But in track, what'd you do there?
400 in the shot put.
Wow.
Honestly, fastest big guy ever. I've never seen a faster big guy in my life. We used to play softball, and he'd hit the ball, go down the first baseline, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to be on the football field and have that coming at me.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't think, you know, as big as you can, not that big guys can't run, obviously, but you can, yeah, that's good. So what did that do for you in life, do you think, the sports? If you were talking to a kid this morning and you'd say, well, who was my mentor, first of all? Who was your mentor back in those days? Was it a science teacher, a biologist teacher, or a coach?
Yeah, it would have been a coach for sure. Bud Doba. At 60 years old, the guy worked out harder than any of us kids, right? And he was very structured in life. Had his religion, had his family, had his kids that he all put us through sweat and tears, right?
Yeah, you know, I got grandkids now, and once in a while, a lot of times I'll go to the games, and we got some terrific athletes coming up, not just my grandkids, obviously. If they make the team, that would be an accomplishment, being Curry blood. But, little joke there. But anyway, we got Peterson blood in there, so we'll be okay. But anyway, you know, I'm just going to tell you that Tim Heist, he's coaching Jack in basketball this last winter. And Tim's a gifted coach. He really is. I don't think he hears it enough, because I know he takes a lot of flack from being the superintendent of schools, which he should, because he's made a lot of bad decisions. I'm only kidding.
Oh, hey.
I love
He's
the guy.
a friend.
He's a friend of mine.
You gotta bring Pete in for the
I know, yeah.
rebuttal now.
No, but not everybody can be liked for all reasons, but I really, truly mean this. I think he would be a hell of a basketball coach for the high school, because the way he teaches those kids the fundamentals, and then the respect and how they're attentive to what he's speaking. He's a pretty good coach. We have a lot of good coaches like that. I know that. I'm just using him for one.
Jason and I coached with him for a long time. We coached baseball together with our older boys coming up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we always joked, because it was Jason, myself, John Osowski, Tim Heist, and Todd Dew.
Yeah.
We had about one coach for every 2 players. But
yeah, you guys are good.
But it benefited us.
Yeah.
And I look back, and my older boy, sometimes my style didn't work with him, and Jason and I have similar styles when it comes to coaching. So I would have to have Tim or John Osowski talk to him, because their style was different from ours. Jason and I think we're more edgy. And
I don't want to forget your daughter too. She's quite an athlete too, right? How old is she?
So I have a 13-year-old Murphy and 11-year-old Evelyn.
Oh, you have 2.
Yeah.
They both play hockey too?
The 11-year-old does. She just picked it up 2 years ago and really made some big strides, and she loves it. I was kind of hoping she won. Basketball's a little cheaper at times. Right?
Hey, you know, and tomorrow maybe we'll mention this, Brian, but we don't want to forget this too, is see Coach of the Year for basketball in the area.
Yes, sir. A good friend of ours.
Go ahead.
Brennan Walsh.
Yeah, he deserved it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Reed City, what he did up in Reed City, huh?
You're not going to find a better coach, better mentor to the kids. I know Jason and I have coached with him in the past, and
very dedicated.
Dedicated and just, is grounded.
Yeah, we got to get him back over here, don't we? But anyway, he's doing a great job up in Reed City. We want to congratulate Brendan Walsh on a great year last year, showcasing Reed City Coyotes. All right, what else, guys? We got 4 minutes to the half of the hour. We can play another song, or we can talk about Bob, which would take about way too much time.
Nobody wants to hear
Bill,
that.
Andre, anything more about our youth academy?
Yeah.
I guess the only thing else would be the kids are going to get their own Mecosta County Youth Academy T-shirts throughout their process. So they'll get a workout one that'll be in neon yellow, and they'll get a black one that they'll be able to keep after the program, and that accompanies all the lessons and experiences that they'll take along with them too. So,
We also have inspirational videos.
oh yeah, we got. I hope these kids like Tony Gwynn, because they're going to see a lot of it.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I'll just sit back and be quiet.
I think programs like this, just like we were talking about sports, are very important for kids to learn structure, learn to, again, in the summer, to get up, to put a day's work in. I think that's what sports were to me, right? Was learning that even when you're not having a good day, I have to work hard. I have to go to work. I have to show up. And then by the end of the day, what did you do? You felt better. You accomplished something. And that's what that a youth academy could definitely do, just like sports do.
I'll say in this academy, we have them do the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards physical fitness test. We have them do it on Monday morning, and then I have them do it on Friday morning. And what I tell them on Monday morning is that if they work hard and they listen to what I ask of them and they do all the exercises the way that I ask them to do them, Friday they will see improvement in just a short 5 days. And every single year, there are dramatic improvements in all of these kids from Monday to Friday in their physical fitness test.
Well, Jason, just a few more minutes here. Why do you think, and it's not over yet, and I know I keep putting you on the spot, not Brian, but Brian's the sheriff. I'd rather get the deputy. But to be a successful parent, why do you think you are one? I mean, so far in your life right now, you got some pretty nice kids there. Your dad obviously raised you to be a good young man. So he was probably a big influence on that. So do you think it comes from a generation after generation? Or is it something, did you read a book that said there's a timeout chair when your kid's naughty, you put him in the corner? That didn't work out so well, did it? Huh?
Look at his hands. That's all you need to see.
I mean, going to that, I had great parents. And when every year at March the Read Month, I think Brian just said, I read the same book, and it's about a mother and mother's love for a child, and how she'd pick him up every day and rock him and tell him he loved him and sing him the same song. And at the end, it's the changing of the time, and he has to pick up the mom while she's passing away. And you mentioned my father was passed. Just went and saw my mom this weekend. Yeah, it's your parents teach you. And is parenting tough? It's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Every day when I drive around, you think about the day before. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? But at the end of the day, if I can hug them, tell them I love them, and try to guide them to make the right decisions, that's what we do. But definitely love them.
You know how I judge a parent if they're successful or not? Is when their boy, if they come in the gas station. But the people that come in my gas station, I can tell a kid if their parents are doing a good job on one simple smile. If that kid comes in smiling, that kid's happy. He's enjoying life. You know what I mean? And I see that in so many these young kids today. A lot of them that come in there, most of them do play sports, but all you have to do is say one word to them. If they look at it and smile, they're happy at home. You know what I mean? Isn't that true?
I think that's
I
very
see
true.
a lot of them that
But
don't.
if
man.
I can add something, we're talking about we're not perfect.
Damn near.
And we're not perfect. And,
Bob and I
my
are.
kids have problems as much as anybody. And if we sit
Oh,
up here
yeah.
and say this is the way you parent my kids, I'd be lying. And it's a struggle every day, in all honesty. I had a conversation just yesterday with, Heather Zacco, and, it's tough being a parent.
Yeah.
There's struggles. It's tougher sometimes than the job that we do, in all honesty. You try to do the best you can, try to lead the best you can, and love, like Jason said. There isn't a day that goes by when I let my kids off to school that my last two things I say to them is I love you and do your best. And you hope they take that and take it into consideration and do that, and just know that you do love them, but it's not perfect.
Right.
And
I just really quickly, there's a gentleman I played football with, huge man, 6'7", Dennis Dry. And my dad would come up to every game, and after every game, we'd give each other a hug. Something I didn't even think about, right? It was my dad was a big man too. He was 6'6", big voice, big body, and we'd give each other a hug. We'd talk about the game. He'd obviously tell me that I sucked or that I need to get better at this or that. And but my buddy Dennis, last year I seen him, and he said, "Hey, I just want to tell you." It was at my dad's funeral, and he said, "I want to tell you that I looked at your dad because I didn't have that influence when I was a kid, and I told myself I was going to do that to my kids. I was going to hug them. I was going to tell them I love them. Because the first time I saw you hug your dad," he goes, "I thought it was strange. I thought it was weird." And he said, "I'll never do it." His one son's playing football at Eastern right now. His other son's a huge recruit. First game of the year when Big Rapids plays, we play Paw Paw, so we'll meet them.
Yeah.
He's a big recruit. He's being recruited by a lot of colleges. But he said he still gives his kids hugs. And it's just based off of my dad and me. So.
Yeah. So you influenced his life, didn't you?
It did.
And it might have changed the life of those kids now.
Definitely.
What he's doing, yeah. It makes a big difference. I know, like Brian said, it's not perfect. I've had a great life. I've got a great family and everything, but I know I'm a pain in their ass right now with the business and stuff. That's the only thing bad about being in business when your sons work for you or take it over and stuff, because your ideas aren't actually going to be theirs, and it's really tough. I'd be lying to say if it's a bed of roses. It's like the Schuberg family. Tyler there, he's the fourth generation. His grandmother started the insurance company. Then his grandpa Carly, which was a dear friend of ours, been with him for years. And then Rex, one of my best friends, did a great job. And then for Tyler to be a successful fourth generation, what a tribute to the Schuberg family in itself. I mean, and the one thing that it comes from their grandmother and grandpa, I knew Grandpa Carl real well, was that they were workers. They were dirt workers. They knew how to make it, and they took, their bumps in here and there in the roads, but they're still pillars of our community. And just recently, I saw somebody post something about the Good Old Boys Club. If it wasn't for the Good Old Boys Club, America wouldn't be today what it is today. I know it's been broken up and pushed down. We the people have been, and we're such a giving and keep coming back and giving, but there's nothing wrong with a Good Old Boys Club as long as it's a positive Good Old Boys Club and what's best for the community. So that being said, Bobby, what else?
I think that's about it from my end.
Let's pick a good song.
Let's go over where people can contact if they want their children to get involved in this summer's program.
You can go online to the Facebook page for the Mecosta County Youth Academy, or the Big Rapids Department of Public Safety Facebook page, or the Sheriff's Office Facebook page. There's links to the application. Fill it out, and it'll get sent in to me, and we will review it.
All right, and then we got to pick a good song. Jason, you're a music man. What do you think your wife would like to hear today? What's her favorite song? Does she have a favorite song? Carrie's a great gal. She works here in town, and she's probably listening to you right now.
Put them on a spot, why don't you?
Well, we do that often. You know that, Bobby. Huh?
As good as I once was. That'd be perfect.
There you go.
Where is it?
Good as I want.
She tells me that all the
Toby
time.
Keith, yeah.
Carrie tells me that all the time.
There you go. Well, Carrie Lazinski, this is for
It's
your
going to take a second.
wonderful husband.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Take your time. Take your time.
I saw
doing?
Toby Keith there. I thought,
Yeah. But I was going to play courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. But
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect.
Well, we can play that too, and then
Yeah,
play
play
the
that.
other one later after that.
well, Pat's got our playlist for the whole rest of the day.
Oh, Lord. You know that.
Curry 1039.
There